call this meeting of the Harriman City Council, June 2nd, 2020 to order. Before we get started, we'll have a prayer by Mr. Crass, followed by the pledge allegiance to the flag.
Great. Sit back here with me, please. Father God, I thank you, Lord, for the privilege and the honor of being here, Father, and as we gather together for the business of the community and the city. Lord, I just pray, Father, for each leader, for each one that's present here, God, that you would just lead them and guide them. God, I know that there is a lot of things going on, not only in our city and our county, but in our world. And Lord, we ask that you would just give us wisdom and guidance and what to do and how to do it, Father, Lord, that we would use you, Father, Lord, as our representation of who we are to be and how we are to carry ourselves. And Father, I just pray, God, that you would just draw near to this time, to this council. God, that you would just give them such wisdom, bring them blessings, Father. God, I know that there's just, again, there's so much going on and so many people hurting. And Father, we need your love. We need your guidance. And you're the one that can bring true peace.
Yes.
So Father, we just ask that you would be with each and every one of them. Bless their families. Bless them during this time. Lord, I know that they're all here on their own time a lot of times, Father. I just pray, God, for your richest blessings upon them. Guide them and lead them in their wisdom. For I ask these things in thy great name, the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Alicia Harris.
Here.
Buddy Holly.
Here.
Tim Johnson.
Here.
Kenny Me.
Here.
Sam Russell.
Here.
Lonnie Wright.
Here. I'd like to declare a quorum. Need a motion to approve the minutes of the May 19, 2020 meeting? I'll make a motion. Motion by Councilman Johnson. Second. Second, Councilman Wright. Councilman Johnson. No, sir. Councilman Wright. No, sir. Floor is open for discussion. Call roll, please.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes. Motion carries. Motion to pay the salaries. Motion. Motion by Councilman Russell. Second. Second by Councilman Lee. Councilman Russell. Councilman Lee. Yes, sir. Floor is open for discussion. Call roll, please.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes. Motion carries. Motion to pay the bills. Motion. Motion by Councilman Wright.
Second.
Second by Councilman. Oh, sorry. Councilwoman Harris. Councilman Wright. No. Councilwoman Harris.
No.
Floor is open for discussion. Call roll, please.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes. Motion carries. This time we'll hear from delegation. If you're here to address the council, please come and state your name and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
My first time ever here is Rusty Fowler. My concerns are Riggs Chapel Road and its safety, children signs, and the speed limits on that road are insane. Somebody's going to get run over. We've had several occasions where it's been really close to somebody getting run over on that road. And if I don't know what else to say besides hand it over to my partner and let her fill in the rest of the 30 seconds or whatever she needs, if that's okay.
Mayor, Council, my name is Elisa Swaska, and as Rusty said, we are here to address the situation on Riggs Chapel Road. About a month ago, 2 months ago, before the COVID issue started, we had requested for the signs to be put up simply because we're trying to develop and do some stuff with that money that we purchased. The signs were put up, and then about 30 days later, were taken down. So we've asked if they can be replaced back in there. The signs would be great, and if the city would approve a guardrail, we put in as well for our kids' safety while we're doing the building of that area, we would greatly appreciate it. I've almost been hit by 2 vehicles that down there. My 12-year-old son's been hit there as well. I'm born and raised in this town and in this county, and I'm trying to teach my boys how to learn how to work, how to earn their keep, and run heavy equipment so they don't have to rely on somebody else to pay the bills in the long run. I can't do that if I'm not here. So, I appreciate your
And I think just to give a quick explanation of why the signs was put up and taken back down. It was checked through our planning commission to see if there had been anything brought to them to ask for development in that area, which is a law in the city of Harriman. That has not happened, so that's why the signs was taken back down. Usually there would be no kids in that area.
Correct.
Because of what y'all are doing, there's probably been kids.
Yeah.
But as of right now, that has not been brought before the city, it hasn't been brought before the planning commission, and until that does, that's an illegal activity that's going on over to the brewery. So that's what they,
For us to clear the land so that we can build, is it illegal?
Residential on the side.
Residential?
it is based on the way the city ordinance were up, yes, ma'am.
Where, if you don't mind, since where can I find those city ordinances? I want to make sure that.
Yes, sir.
On the planning commission.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, though the ordinances are available online at cityofharriman.net, and you can go on there and get everything that you need. This has been an issue that we've had to look into, and we'll probably be contacting you soon about it, about what we need to do to make some corrections. But you can get all that there. In order to start a development, especially if you're going to have travel trailers, it has to be considered a PUD.
We haven't decided what we're going to do with the property yet from a commercial or residential standpoint. As of right now, it's still zoned as an open space.
Right. If there's been any development there at all, there's a site plan that's required to be submitted before you even break ground with a bulldozer. That has to come before planning commission for a site plan review, has to be approved. If you tie in any existing sewer there, that has to be approved by the city. I mean, there's a lot of things that you have to do.
We already have, there's 2 actual
Septic tank.
septic tanks that have been grandfathered in by the city.
Yeah, but they're not grandfathered. It doesn't work that way. If you have an old sewer system that exists on a piece of property, it has to be reapproved by the city, inspected by the city, you have to get a certification to go with that.
I also have that documentation from the state, from the guy that passed it, which is the state.
Right.
Because we had issues with the plumbing and the existing resident or the commercial above us.
Right. Having a state inspector would be part of the process to get the city to approve the sewer for you, but that doesn't approve the sewer on the city standpoint. That's one of the things you'd have to do in order to get city approval, but
Yes.
that does not give you city approval just to have the inspector come out and look at it. So there's a lot of things.
There.
Yeah, there's a lot of things
Things
that
go
go on.
along from the top to the bottom.
Right.
We have all this in documentation as well.
Right. Do you have your city permit that allows you to reconnect to a sewer?
Yes, sir.
You-
I also have that from my power to turn
Who
back
did
on as
you
well.
get that from?
The city, right here in the UHED building.
Okay, so you got a city permit to tie into that sewer?
No, it's mine. It was on the property,
Okay, so you
which already done been
so you have
inspected.
a certificate from the city that grants you permission to tie into an existing sewer. That's what I'm asking.
The existing sewer was already there,
Right.
and the house was already there. There's been several residents on that property.
But in order to re-tie into it, you
I
have-
wouldn't retire.
okay. Well, we'll have to discuss it later. I don't think this is the proper forum to lay all that out, but I will tell you there are some issues with that. I'm the person you come to get that certificate from.
Yes, sir.
I have not been approached. I have not issued any certificates for such a
So
purpose.
how do I get power and water turned on back down there then, without that permit?
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to look at that. Yeah.
Because I already have water down there. They done turned the water back on, I've already been approved for my tower,
Yeah.
and my tower pulls up.
Right, well, HEB determines their, and Candace is here, and she could probably speak to that on power and water, what their requirements are. That may be separate from our codes enforcement. So Candace does not necessarily, HEB does not necessarily check with us to check to see if everything's within city code. All they do is they look for their own criteria for when they turn on utilities. But separate from that, you still have to meet all city codes that are in existence. And if you don't do that, then we have to take action to correct that to make sure we can get you in compliance. And that's where we're at right now. Is we're going to have to probably at some point in the next week or 2 have a sit down with you, look at where we're at, and there may be some issues that we're going to have to address with you. Okay?
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thanks for coming. Anyone else?
My name is Crystal Johnson. I'm with the Triumph Park Association. I'm coming today to say thank you to the city and also to Charlie. Me and Charlie have been working together. I heard that you are putting playground equipment that's going to be coming up there for the park. We're getting excited about it. I talked to Charlie and also wanted to invite the whole community when all this stuff is put in to have a grand reopening of the F.R. Davis Park is what we're trying to actually do. We were trying to set the goal for July the 4th weekend, but when we talking to Charlie, it may not be in place by that time fully. We also want to do the rededication of the basketball court because it was done last year and we were not able to do a rededication for everything to have the park be opened back up. So I did have one question from one of the public that wanted to make sure that there was a swing for the baby, a baby swing. I don't know what was in the equipment situation, but they wanted to see if there was a baby swing for a baby to make sure that the new process to think about the little kids also. So I wanted just to bring that to your attention too, about maybe a baby swing for maybe an infant, maybe 1, 2, or 3 years old, to be able to still be able to swing. So I wasn't for sure, I wasn't in with the planning, but I want to say thank you. We still want to work with the park and with Charlie, the new director, as far as trying to Park Association is concerned. And we're still using probations from Kingston Community Service to help do the park also. So if there's anything that Triangle Park can do, please let us know. So just want to stay in contact with the city also.
Thank you. Does that mean, Crystal, when you do that you're cooking?
Yes, we are cooking. We are cooking. we will be cooking.
So it's on record that you will be cooking?
Yes, we will be cooking.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else like to address council? If not, we'll go into reports. Harriman, you took the board.
All right, so our lobby is reopened. A lot of feedback from that, just in case anyone didn't know. You can come into our lobby if you're not comfortable coming into the lobby as a member of the public, whoever you are. Our drive-thru is still full service. We still offer a lot of the services online and by telephone as well. Only major project I have going on right now is our cast iron gas project, which y'all are all aware of. We've got mapped out on the website. If anyone's curious where that is, most folks at this point know if they're affected. That should be going on for the next few months. Pretty soon, hopefully by July, we'll be starting on our water meter replacements. That'll affect about half of our water customers. That's both inside of Harriman and outside the city limits, our entire water system. And then lastly, I just wanted to mention, it's been a couple months since I've been here, but Bullard Ford Road and the City Park project, those were sort of combined under one effort. Those are going ahead smoothly. We're in the permitting stage. We're expecting those to be approved hopefully pretty soon. And construction to start maybe this September or so. We're hoping to get that done this fall.
Anything for Candace? Thank you, ma'am. Parks and Recs, Jim.
Crystal, I did talk to Jake, the guy that's been doing our work. He said if we get everything, through pretty quick, he's going to work on Triangle Park first, so we will get the stuff. Hopefully it'll be in this week. So I told him, I said, you're going to have it done by July 4th, so we're going to try our best to get that. He said he'd try to. We got to get some stuff out and get it ready. We're working on that. Probably the big thing, we actually finished up the playground surface at Riverfront Park. I put some things out there, you can see the surface on that. Actually, the surface now is turned like a turquoise color. In about a month or two, it'll be back blue, and it'll look really good too. But we're working on that. Hopefully get all our parks and everything open, the restrooms and everything by Monday. We're working on that. And with the community center, working with Tasha, she's working to get some guidelines with Kevin and see what all we need to do, so we can get the community center open back by Monday. Today we actually started the splash pad site. We started doing work on that. HEB sent some people down. They took a big tree we had out there on the side, and then Drax and his guys down and chopped it all up and got rid of the playground equipment. So we're getting ready to start on that one. The whole month of June, we're working on getting that site ready. And Drax and these guys are really going to help us. So we're working on that, getting that site ready. While they're doing that, we're going to work on the Triangle Park to get that one, hopefully get that one done. We want, hopefully, if everything works out, to maybe start the 1st of July. to get the splash pad in. And he said if everything worked out, and hopefully, he said he can do it in 30, 45 days, so if everything works out good, that's what we're looking at, getting all that done too, so, and all the parts, we'll get it, hoping with we got some other stuff going on, I know we're gonna be talking about it today, but the prom stuff, hopefully get all our stuff done with our fountains, get them going and stuff, we're gonna be looking at getting, that stuff this week, get everything else looking good, and we're going there. The golf course, we got a fairway mower in last week, it works great, it helps us out mowing, getting the field, getting the greens, the fairways and everything up, are looking really good, so I sure appreciate that.
Anybody have anything, Mr. Jones? Thank you, sir. Appreciate all y'all doing. Library.
That's good to see everybody again. The library has been closed for a long time now, but we actually have been still busy with taking books out to people when they call us, and DVDs and books, and we've actually been out copies of things too for them. Connie has been continuing on the little program, and she's done really, really good with changing with the times and doing it all on Facebook. And it's done well, and she will do a summer reading program that way also, because we can't have that big of a crowd of children in the library. But we will officially open back on Thursday with distancing, but we won't be able to have programs where people can come check our books. We've all been very busy cleaning every book in the library. So it's clean, and we clean them as they come back in, and of course as they go back out. But they've been cleaned and all on the shelves. And of course the computers has been cleaned too. With the TSLA grant, the tech grant, we've been able to purchase 3 new computers and upgrades for all the rest we have. So when we open back up to the public, we'll have new computers that are upgraded to the newest stuff. And of course, there'll be some distancing between each computer too. With this tech grant, we also got 2 laptops, and they've been fixed up, so that will give us some more that we can space people apart better with also. And we've also purchased new books during this time. We had 2,000 from the state and 1,500 we've done from the library, so when people comes back, they'll have new books and new computers. The air ducts downstairs have had some mold on it, and we are having them cleaned tomorrow, so they will be cleaned when we open back up to. We've had a water line break, but it's already fixed. I called Barry to come cut it off last night, but Kevin sent someone down to fix today. And the top grant, it's another grant, and I'm still in the process of purchasing equipment for that one. That's also the one that we were able to get the coding subscription done. So I encourage everybody to go on there and code. We do have a website on our Facebook page for printable coding. It helps teach you to do software, create computer software. Adults can do it along with children. It's with the top grant. It's big money. It's top grant paid for. We also are purchasing more hotspots with that particular top grant, and supposed to have computer classes, but not until the fall since we've had this pandemic. We also have another grant the state is offering. It's called CARES, and it has to do with the pandemic. We are able to purchase cleaning supplies with it, and as one person put it to me, everything you think of to keep people from coming into the library because of the pandemic. But it's still good for the public, so we'll be able to purchase some Chromebooks with it and more hotspots. I'm applying for it. I've not received it yet, but hopefully I will receive it, and so we will have more equipment. Anybody got any questions?
Thanks for saying. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Chief Finance Officer, Dr. Curley.
Holding budget discussions, we met with 3 departments today. We'll be meeting with the others this week and working on developing a draft for the coming year. That's all I have.
Anybody have anything for Dr. Curley? Thanks, sir. City Attorney.
I don't have any new activity.
Anybody have any questions for the attorney? Mr. Helms, you may.
Just wanted to let you know that in addition to what Mr. Jones said about trying to get everything open that we can in the recreation department by next week, getting the library open, our lobbies at the city administrative building as well as the police department have been open now for several weeks. We've got some measures in place. If we have someone from the public that needs to come back into the staff area to try and protect everyone. But the lobbies are open and we are providing services on site again. Earlier this week, we opened the bids that were submitted for the trailer that the fire department is buying through the Assistance to Firefighters grant. We're reviewing those bids now to determine which one is the best bid, and that should be on your agenda for the next meeting to approve one of those bids. We received 3 bids for that particular project, and Kenny and Chief Daniels have been working on that. Lastly, there will be a notice in the newspaper. Tomorrow we have some packets at our office for any contractors who may be interested. We have bids opening up on the first of the homes that will be done under the home grant. And so if there are any contractors who are interested in bidding on that project, they can come by the office and pick up the packet. And I think it's June 18th that those bids will be back in.
Do I have anything for the city manager?
Was that demolition or build? Is it to remove them?
On this particular one, I'm not sure. We've got some of both. So I would have to go back and look at the particular address to determine whether it's rehab or whether it's going to be a demo and rebuild.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any council have any comments for city manager? Thanks, sir. This time we're going to new business. First item, proclamation given to Fred Pierce and Maynard Harriman. Councilman Russell says on the we'll be reading something in just a minute, but this is set for Friday, June the 12th at the Emory Golf Course, and we have the proclamations made. Like anybody might want to come up. It starts at 5 o'clock on that Friday. I'll let Sam read it because I'm going to be stepping on his toes when he's going to read it. So, Councilman.
The Emory Golf Course employees, golf board, and members would like to honor Fred Pierce and Maynard Harriman for being lifelong members at Emory Golf Club. For over 70 years, it is dedication and commitment such as this that allows Emory Golf Course to thrive for so many years. We are asking the council to have this day of honor on Friday, June 12th.
So that will be Friday, June the 12th at the Emory Golf Course. And, you know, when I looked over that, when Mr. Jones gave it to me, 70 years, and they've been members for over 70 years at that golf course. And both of them can still beat me easily. So, but I think it's a good thing out there with other people. They're always up there. So I appreciate you all getting this together. Next item. Discuss and possibly approve bid to tear down the building the city owns near the soccer field. As all of you all are aware, we bought the building down next to the soccer field. It used to be the old Moore's Honda shop. I don't know what it was before or after that, but I do remember that being there. It's been an eyesore for a while. It's been broke into. It's been burned. I think what Mr. Helms had to do was David, the codes enforcer, got some quotes. Is that correct? And we have a quote on that to tear that down and clean it up. You have that, Mr. Helms?
Yes, sir. We received a quote from Brady Excavating, $4,500. So that's what we would be requesting you to approve tonight. That would come out of the demolition fund for structures that aren't code compliant. We did reach out to a couple of other contractors to try and get a quote on the demo that has done this type of work before for the city. At this time, we didn't receive any other quotes from them. We did also look at the option of bringing some equipment and doing the work ourselves. But based on the fact that this quote was just $4,500, we felt like it was the best approach.
Motion to approve to spend $4,500 for the tear down of that property.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Russell, second. Second. Second by Councilman Johnson. Councilman Wilson.
The building's an eyesore. Needs to be gone. I think we're gonna use it for parking or something like that.
Councilman Johnson.
Space, needed space, so I'm good with it.
Floor is open for discussion. Has he done work for us before? Or anybody know?
That I'm not sure about.
I think that for some reason he's wanted done all the demo for housing beside the community center. I don't know that for sure.
Well, I think he's done some for us too back here when Maria was here. He was doing some of it.
Yeah, Liz, you're correct.
I think we was expecting him to come back a lot more than it was, so it was, when I seen it today, I was surprised. Any other discussion? Call roll, please.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, discuss and possibly approve funding for the Harriman High School junior senior prom due to the impact of the COVID-19 national disaster on the school year. Explain just a little bit about what that is. I have been notified of numerous people asking if the city of Harriman could do the same thing that the city of Rockwood is planning on doing, which is holding the senior prom for the juniors and seniors. And when I was asked, my first question was, I've been real leery about doing a whole lot of anything. And, but we have talked and I have met with them. I've kind of tried to keep the council up to date as to what was going on. Before you get into the motions and stuff, and I'm supposed to do that before we start discussing, but I kind of want to just give you the breakdown. What they're looking at is the Riverfront Park on June the 12th. Using it to do the junior senior prom, sponsored by the city of Harriman. And we have got permission slips that I can get you that shows that the city, they have to sign it, a parent, or at least somebody 18 years old that doesn't hold the city responsible in any way. But what we're wanting to do is, and I talked to the city manager about this, if it's something that we can do, we can control it a little bit more than just them going out and doing it themselves. What we plan is when you go into the park, your temperature will be checked before you can enter the prom. You have to sign up, you have to reserve. It is only for students of Harriman High School, unless you have a date from somewhere else, we still allow that. We will be doing the CDC guidelines, we will be doing social distancing. We will have police officers there that is kind of watching that. Now, I'm not going to go on record and say there won't be somebody that may break that policy as far as getting closer than they're supposed to. We're going to do that to try to make sure that doesn't happen. Where you can wear a mask, you can wear gloves. We will have masks and gloves both there. We'll have all kinds of sanitary stuff there. But from my perspective, and it's up to whatever council wants to do, but from my perspective, a lot of these seniors has lost a lot this year. They've lost what they usually get. And they lost the signing of their yearbooks. They lost the prom, the graduation's not going to be the same. Now, I remember when I was a senior, just barely, and those are things that you look forward to. The last times that you get to see the people you graduated with. And I look back, I haven't seen the class that I graduated with since the day I walked off graduation. Now, I see some of them, but I look back through yearbooks and most of them I don't even remember. So this is a special time for them. They didn't get to say goodbye. They didn't get to say, you know, I'll see you down the road again. School was shut down and they were shut down. And I feel like it's a time that we as a city, we show our young people that we do support and that we are there for them. And I do realize there's a lot hanging up there. I do realize that there's a lot on the line, there's a lot of things out there. But, and I've taken all that into consideration and I've been back and forth. That's why, you know, however you vote is on you. I don't judge you in any way. But I did have a meeting and I asked to meet with all the parents and stuff, the kids that would be interested. And we had that park, an open space, and any of you all that came by or came down, you see it was packed. You know, and I tried to make sure that we stayed, but it was probably 75 to 100 parents that is wanting their kid to have this opportunity. So I'll quit rambling. It's up to council, it's what you want to do. I think what they're asking the city is the school cannot be, they cannot have any part of this. The teachers are not a part of it. I did call and talk to the principal. He has sent out some texts and emails for us, and he has stepped up and to do that. But as far as the funding, they cannot fund it in any way. They can't have a part of it, which is, I don't know what I call it, but I understand it to a degree. So they have zero funding. We have sat down and tried to figure out what it costs to put a problem on. And just to give you some examples, you got to have photo props, you got to have photographers, you got to have some kind of food, you got to have, you know, there's more to it than just saying we're going to do it. So in saying that, I think that we're looking at somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000 to do this. And what I would ask council is if you decide to do this, I would still like for it to come through the city. I don't think that we should take and just write a check and give it to somebody and say you're in charge. You all may feel different, but I feel like that there should only be maybe 4 or 5 bills that come in, like no bills and things like that, and the city can write the check. That way we can see where the money's going and how it's accounted for. That's kind of where I'm at. It's up to you all as to what you need to do.
I make a motion that we move forward with it.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. In your motion, Councilman, is there an amount, not to exceed an amount?
From the meetings we had, what all we're going to be getting to put down there and everything, I think 5,000 would be sufficient.
So your motion is for the city not to exceed $5,000 to host a junior senior prom.
Yeah, we may not need that much, but at least we set it back, we'll be covered for everything. But it may not even reach that.
Ms. Harrison, is that?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, any comments? Any comments?
Now, I think what you did, meeting with the parents to make a determination if we were going to have enough people to participate was the right thing to do. And then above all else things, we need to have that signature of the parent or the guardian that says we're not held liable. And I mean, I understand the whole gist. It is your last year, and I've been here all my life, and I hardly see any of the people I graduated with. So it is your last hooray, per se. So that's why I'm here.
Floor is open for discussion.
I assume that food and supplies like that we'll do our best to accommodate those local that you're retaining.
Everything will be done here local, and what we will do is we have somebody that will be handing it out so the kids can't just go up, and because most of it is finger foods, sandwiches and things like that. They will not be allowed to just go up and get. There will be somebody there that will be putting that on their plate for them. Drinks will be canned drinks. They'll just get them because we want to limit as much touching as we can, but yes, we are looking at global aspect.
I spoke with a lot of the seniors and their parents, and they're very excited, they're very appreciative, and I'm glad we have an opportunity to do something positive for these kids when they've not had much positive in their life for the last 6 months.
Do you plan on having any entertainment for them?
There will be a DJ that will be coming. The thing about the DJ is somebody's already paid for that. So they've already had somebody sponsor the DJ.
How many kids are we talking about? I've heard these numbers and all the parents have stopped over no numbers at all.
I asked Mr. Callahan how many usually comes to a prom. He told me usually you have about 80 kids that come to a prom. But he did say this year's going to be different if you all do it because it's going to be something special for them. It's going to be something that they didn't get to do a lot of their stuff. We're going to try to set up where they can sign annuals and stuff and disinfect and do those things. So from talking to the president of the senior class, he has been contacting most of them, talking to them. I asked him last night, I said, what do you think the numbers are going to be? And he said he feels like it'll be anywhere from 150 to 175 students there.
150 to 175 is it hard, but you've been meeting with them, but that's the only number you got was from him and Callahan. And Director General, are the playgrounds open yet?
I talked to Mr. Hamlin earlier. I know that Kingston's open theirs, and we're sure they'll be open by then.
So we got the guidelines, we're good, and that kind of stuff will be open. I mean, the playground's closed and we're gonna have a prom next to it, so I just thought that kind of.
I can't say about the playgrounds. The last of the executive orders that I read indicated that playgrounds were still supposed to be closed. Now that may have been updated since that point in time. It was about the time that we were planning how this event might take place if we decided to bring it to council for approval. But that would be the only part of the park that could possibly still be shut down would be the playground. As far as with regard to open air entertainment and social gatherings, as long as we separate the kids so that one, they have social distancing, and two, each group doesn't exceed 50 individuals, then it would be consistent with the guidelines the governor has issued.
Who do you plan on enforcing, having enforced the 50 and the 50 since the city's done paying for it, which makes you responsible?
That is the part that we are talking to. Callahan will be there, Clark will be there, and then we will have some officers that will be there. I even have some officers offered that's volunteered to come down and help keep that. We've got all kind of volunteers. I don't want too many volunteers because I want the kids to have a good time. But we have looked at that issue as to who would be stationed at what areas to make sure that they feel those things.
Okay. And are police and fire departments still in their COVID protocols right now?
They have modified them. They still have some protocols in place, but they're not on the strictest.
So they're allowed to go out and eat at El Cañaritos, Los Primos, or Utilities as a group now? You release those restrictions?
I haven't discussed the going out and eating aspect. We have let them resume their secondary jobs. We've reinstituted the automatic aid with the other cities.
I understand. I know what you're getting at, and that's my point. I don't have a problem with kids having a prom and everything, but if we're not even releasing our own people out of these COVID protocols, how are we gonna hold a gathering that could potentially have 3 different groups, because you said up to 180, so you know, you're gonna have 4 groups, because that other 30 is going to be over there. And then we're gonna have our police and fire that we've got restricted doing that, unless I guess it's June 11th when we say your restriction's done, so it makes it look right. But, that, and then also, I think the $5,000 is very steep, considering you could have the 20 kids, or you could have 180 kids show up. We do, from being on the Hooray for Harriman committee, we only you go out and get money, like obviously did for the DJ, which is a good thing, but they go out and they get people to support it. You know, we have well over 1,000 people there. The city might contribute $3K, possibly. So that's just some things I thought we probably ought to look at for you getting the dollar wise. Should you hold it off a little bit, but then have time to raise some money to help out with the funds? Maybe make them want to show up if they've done that. Just a few things like that I thought we should consider before bringing it to a vote, especially during these times. But that's all I have to say.
I think the 12th was picked because graduation is the following Saturday, and then we're going to do it for graduation.
Well, that's another one. Graduation will be a gathering where everybody can come to the gym.
All I know is it's Saturday.
And probably not until I'm getting them. So we're going to have them all meet and get together, and then they'll have one where they can. So school's still practicing COVID, city and all that. Maybe some states do, some states don't. Federal government does, federal government doesn't. So I just think there's a lot of things.
Sports, I mean, they started back Monday with sports, so.
We haven't decided that, from what well, that's another subject, even if they're going to have high school ball, because TSSAA hasn't got together yet to discuss that officially, if they're going to have it or not. I found that out today. But anyway, I think it's a little soon.
As a point, Rockwood had their graduation exercises last week. You got diplomas, one kid at a time.
Gym packed?
Rockwood.
The gym was packed up, no restrictions? Well, just like anything else we do, I mean, we do what we want to, whether or not,
Well,
whether or not it
they
follows
talk
the guidelines of anything, you can do what you want.
My main point was just having the 5,000 there. We may not use all of it. You know, I just wanted to make sure we had enough that it would cover everything. So it couldn't, like you said, it could just be 2,500 or 3,000. We don't know. We checked on getting some stuff donated as far as the certain things they're going to put up down there. So hopefully some of that will go through.
There's just so many things we do here, though. I mean, we have Floyd bring his statement in when he wants to get $500 for back to school batches to prove that he's, you know, where he wants to spend the money. We have high school band, when they were asking for money, they would have to bring something in showing the band dates, and we have to supply all that documentation to Dr. Curley. So now we're just going to funnel it off to the city, and then we can just pay whatever amount we decide. So.
But I think that way we keep up with it, instead of just writing a check, like we do the Band-Aids and we do Florida, we keep the statements, we know what we're doing.
It's just a quicker way around it, is all it is.
Mayor, I would assume they'd have a cutoff date for attendees to notify their coming so that we don't.
The 9th is their cutoff.
And that's with the waiver signed.
But they can't get a ticket to the prom without turning in their waiver. They will pick their tickets up on the 8th and 9th, only if they have their waiver signed. If it's not signed, they don't get a ticket. Without a ticket, they don't get in.
And where they're getting tickets from, or whom?
They will be set up, give them out from, I think they're doing it, if the city allows to move forward, they will be doing it out on the front steps here next Monday and Tuesday from, I think, 9 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And we do have the list from the high school for the seniors and juniors. If their name is not on that list, they don't get a ticket whether they got a waiver or not. Any other discussion? Call the vote, please.
Felicia Harris.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
No.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, discuss and possibly approve resolution R0620-01. A resolution approving the participation of Jason Hines in Harriman's home program. Kevin, would you explain that a little bit with this?
This is, I guess, about the third step in the process that was required. Mr. Hines had submitted to the home grant program and had, in all other aspects, qualified for funding for the program. The potential exception was the fact that he serves on the board of the Harriman Housing Authority, and because the funding, a lot of the funding for Harriman Housing Authority comes through THDA, and this particular program is administered through THDA, there was the potential for a conflict of interest. And so that information was submitted to THDA to get their input. I know the city attorney looked into the matter and issued a letter which was part of that packet that was being considered. And then there was also a notice that was put out in the paper requesting anyone who wanted to comment on this particular matter to do so by a certain date. That date has since passed, and so the last step in the process would be approval of this resolution that you have before you tonight, where basically the city council would be agreeing that just because Mr. Hines serves on the Harriman Housing Authority board doesn't mean that there's a conflict between receiving funding through the THDA home program. City attorney may have something additional on this.
I'm taking it there was no public comments.
No, sir.
So this person would administer the grant, is that?
No, so they would be a recipient of the grant.
Okay.
Did we get a letter from them stating that they felt like it was not a conflict for us to pass this resolution? We're basically doing this off of what they have said as far as it not being a conflict. Is that the way have we got a letter or something that states their opinion on it? Did we get an opinion?
No, we don't have a letter from THDA. That was just something additional that we did. It wasn't something that's required. They don't generally make those decisions, though they have the authority to come in after the program is closed out to audit a grant. And if they audit it and feel that there's a conflict, then at that point they can require repayment of the funding. But like I said, the city attorney issued the letter. You may have additional information.
I just want to make sure that the council will be voting on a recommendation for a resolution based on our city attorney or on what they said, or I guess that's where I'm kind of.
I think it's a combination of my determination is not a conflict of interest because Mr. Hines doesn't have any voting or decision-making authority that he's appointed. He's not a city official or a city officer, so there wouldn't be any conflict of interest. In addition to, he's fulfilled the other requirements of the grant, and then the contact the city has been talking to with the THDA said because there was this potential conflict, we have to do the additional step of the resolution. So this is the last step to prove Mr. Hines to be qualified for this funding.
Will you say the first part of what you said, that he doesn't make decisions on what?
So he's a member of the board for the Harriman Housing Authority, and is an appointed position. He doesn't have any actual voting or decision-making authority for the city or individually for the housing authority.
But he does. I mean, I was on the board for 20 years, so we vote on things that happen with the housing authority. So that's why I wanted you to repeat. I wasn't sure if I heard what you said.
Because it still comes back to the city. He doesn't have any authority. There's a recommendation for approval by the city, and he doesn't have any.
And in this resolution, this is based on the policies and procedure the city council approved here in Harriman City, not from what you indicated, from the people, the Tennessee Department of Housing Agency, right?
We did adopt the policies and procedures, and they're pretty much a boilerplate set of procedures that most communities that receive a home grant utilize. But it is based upon those policies and procedures. Specifically, if you look at the fifth paragraph, it references section 6 of those policies and procedures. And so that's the specific section that is being reviewed.
And just another comment on the the application list or the list of people who applied for it. His name is not on here, his wife's name is on here. So if we get audited 5 years down the line, are we going to be held responsible because the wrong name is on here and not Jason's name?
It's,
because they're in the same household, I would assume.
yes, it was a joint application.
It looks like we're trying to hide something if we have her name. If this resolution is pertaining to him, why is his name not on the list? Or put both of their names on the list, that's fine, but.
We have a motion to approve. We have a motion to further discuss to approve.
Alicia has a good point on that. I mean, we might need to know exactly what we're doing before we move forward with those. I don't want anything to come back on the city. Even though he is in the same household, his name should be on it.
Unless we want to do it, say, Kevin looking at it to see if it's the joint application and his name just not on it for the rundown list, or so you've seen the application, his name's on there too?
I know it was a joint application from the standpoint of the documentation that was filed with regard to income requirements and things of that nature. Number of people in the household. I didn't look specifically at the name that was listed on the application itself.
I have a question. Allison, are you saying that the THGA asked you to put this together and us to pass it? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they asked for, it's their procedure that they needed an opinion from the city attorney that he's not giving any special treatment or conflict of interest to get this money. And then after they had a letter from me, it was printed in the newspaper for public comments, and then the THGA had drafted a proposed resolution.
And that's who this program is through?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yes,
And also, Jason Hines and Shauna Hines are joint owners of the property at the next difference.
So that, you're saying the only reason we need him on there is because he's on board?
He's the one that has to approve it. Us to approve it, it's not concrete.
That element passed by the HDA to do. I mean, that, they obviously know he's on there, they're trying to,
Motion to approve.
motion.
Motion by Councilman Lee, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Russell. Councilman Lee.
No, it's good that the question Sam asked and Allison said that they had asked her to put it out there and it has been posted and stuff, so.
Councilman Russell.
I would ask that the city manager double check that his name is on the application.
So, would you be okay, Councilman, if the motion was as long as his name is on the application? Yes. The motion is to approve. Are you okay with that on second? Okay. So the motion is as long as Jason Hines' name is on the application, the motion is to approve from Councilman Lee and the second by Councilman Russell. Any other thing, Councilman Russell? Sir. Floor is open for further discussion. Call roll, please.
Alicia Harris.
No.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, discuss and possible approved bid for LPRF grant. Mr. Hams.
We recently held the bid opening for the LPRF grant, which is a combined project with the splash pad, community center, and the new playground equipment at Barnett Park. We received 2 bids for that project. You should have a letter there from the engineer recommending that we accept the base bid as well as alternate number 2, which was part of the bid that was submitted by Great Southern Recreation Company. We would not be accepting alternate 1, which is the parking lot. We felt that higher than we can fit that bill. So we're looking at other options, whether we can run that through another contract that we have existing. TDEC is reviewing that at the present time, or we could go back out to bid as a standalone project just for the parking lot. But what we're recommending is acceptance of the base bid and alternate 2 being the installation of the playground equipment and the base bid being the splash pad.
Motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Holly. Councilman Johnson.
No.
Councilman Holly. Floor is open for discussion. The only thing I would ask is, did all the council see both bids that was turned in? Did you see the numbers? Okay. Floor is open for discussion. Call roll, please.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, the golf board appointment. If it's okay with council, I'd like to hold off on that. As you all know, I'd like to give you all the name before we ever get to this point, so you know who I'm asking or recommending. And I failed to do that before this was put on here, so I'll hold this off until the next meeting, so you all know who I'm asking for.
Mr. Vice, if it wasn't in summary.
The name was on the summary? I didn't read the summary.
You usually have a summary.
I usually know it, so I didn't read it. Okay. So everybody sees the name on there, you all had time to look at it. So if y'all are okay, then we can move forward. I'm asking council to approve Baron Tapp to go on the golf board.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Russell.
I second it.
Second by Councilman Johnson. Councilman Russell.
No, sir.
Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call roll.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you for putting that on. I'd like to ask council to waive the agenda rule, and before you waive it, just to give you an explanation. We've got some stuff on the splash pad, some benches and some shade that we didn't have when we got the agenda ready, so I'd like to ask that we waive that to go ahead and approve, to go ahead and purchase the benches and the shade for that. I'll discuss it. Motion to waive the agenda rule. Motion by Councilman Russell, second.
I second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. Councilman Russell? No. Councilman Johnson? No. Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes. All right, as you, I think you have in your packet, and I'll let Kevin kind of explain it. There's some bids on that stuff.
Yes, sir. There's two different items that we're requesting that you approve. They're both coming from the same representative, though they are different companies that are supplying the products. When we submitted our application for the splash pad and the park, we agreed to install 7 benches and 4 shades for the splash pad. And so those are what we are asking you to approve tonight. The 4 shades would be purchased through the Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative. And you should have a quote there for that. Total for those items, including freight, is $11,130.71. Those are 12 by 12 foot shades with the use of 8 foot high that will be around the splash pad. And then the benches are coming through the Keystone Purchasing Network Cooperative. The 7 benches, including freight, comes to $5,536.30. If you have seen the newest benches that we installed at Kilfoot Park about a year ago, these benches are very similar to those. We had actually intended on using that exact same bench, but that particular bench was a 1/4 inch shy of meeting the ADA requirements. So we had to change the model slightly. But they look almost identical to the newest ones at Kilfoot Park. And they are made of recycled plastic, but they do have a wood look to them.
Motion to approve. Motion by Councilman Johnson, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Harris. Councilman Johnson. Yes, sir. Councilman Harris. Floor is open for discussion.
Did we get bids on it? 11,130?
We didn't take bids on it. This came through Purchasing Cooperative. Now, we did look at what it would cost to purchase the same items through a different purchasing cooperative, a different company, and it was about $5,000 more.
So the way we did it is legitimate, correct?
Yes, sir, because these prices were bid by another organization which we're affiliated with. So we're using that bid to make the purchase.
Can we not send Mr. Jones to Dallas for $2,300 worth of freight? And then to pile pick up benches for $300 and something dollars?
I got a truck.
That's for both the quotes, right?
Any other discussion? Call roll, please.
Alicia Harris.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sam Russell.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes. Motion carries. This time we're here from council. Councilman Howell.
Little update on the paper bill site. The EPA shot, the EPA called and said they approved the park for our use, either park or commercial, light commercial use. And he also said that if we needed help getting the title cleared over, he had a lot of experience in that area. He would help us get that turned over. I told him that they want to arrange a conference call with him and us and see what we need to do. Oh, he said it's not a problem. He said he's done it before. So since we can't seem to get all the players together, we can just pull in. Now, you all let me know when a good time is, and I'll make the arrangements and stuff.
Sounds good. Thanks, sir. Councilman Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yeah.
Councilman Lee. Councilman Wright.
Mayor, it's good to see people from the community out in the audience. 2 months or so. Refreshing.
Thanks, sir. Councilman Russell. Yes, sir. The only thing I have is I would like to officially welcome Councilwoman Harris. She's been with us for a while now, but this is her first meeting coming out with us, and it's an honor having you as part of us, and we look forward to what you have to bring, and great days ahead, and I appreciate you doing what you did. Thank you. The other thing I want to say, because everybody's in this room, this will be our new council chamber, but as you can see, it's under construction, or it's set, we're fixing to get it under construction. We're trying to finish the other parts to get the PD down here, the city offices and everything down here. But this will be under construction upstairs. For the ones of you that don't know, there's a room twice this size, right above us, that goes all the way back, that we are going to be finishing off into an event center. So we will have an event center downtown that will be used for our Christmas parties, things like that, but it is open to the public if they have a place to use. So we're very excited about what we're going to do in this building. If you haven't walked through and looked at what has been doing, what's been going on downstairs and upstairs, the police department is basically just about done upstairs. And we've spent limited money doing that because the police officers have been doing that while we've been on shutdown. They've been here working. Bear has been here almost every night working. And Charlie has been here. His guys have been here. So during the COVID thing, a lot of things went bad. We got a lot of stuff done that we probably wouldn't have got done otherwise. So I want to thank those departments for what they've done. They have saved the citizens a lot of money by doing that. And we've been able to keep them working by doing that. So it's just great to see everybody work together, and I appreciate it. Anything else need to come before this council? Motion to adjourn. Motion. Second. Second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed, like sign?
Now call the Olive Springs Water Board meeting to order, the council meeting to order at this time. Would you lead us to the pledge, sir? Call the roll, Joe, first.
Ross Melvin.
Here.
Jeff Bass.
Here.
Kenny Brown.
Here.
Jason Stilton. Terry Holland.
Here.
Don Schiller.
Here.
Got four.
Now, would you lead us to the pledge, please?
Place the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Joe, would you lead us to prayer, please?
Our Father, we come to you tonight, and we ask that you would have mercy on our nation with all the rioting and the anger and the hatred going back and forth, and we pray that people would turn to you for solutions, because the problems that we face cannot necessarily be solved completely by man. It can only be solved through you, through your being in the hearts and minds and souls of each and every person, where we follow the commandment that Christ gave
and that commandment being love thy neighbor as thyself. We pray for our elected officials and our government services, servants on all levels. We pray you will give these men wisdom as we debate here tonight to manage the resources that you have most generously given. We ask all these things in thy Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Approval of minutes from last meeting. Anyone have, that's the one we want to make a correction on, Joe. It's not a big thing. On the morning of the cemetery, I did not participate. I just asked the men to participate, and they did a good job. But city manager asked them, and I just watched them.
I make a motion we accept the minutes with the provision to be made.
Okay? Got a motion, need a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. You have any discussion, Mr. Bass? Okay, Mr. Brown, no? Okay, anything else to add or subtract from minutes? Call roll, please.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Terry Hall,
Yes.
Ron Stewart.
Yes.
Passed.
Okay, we give delegation from citizens. At this time, we give you 3 to 5 minutes, whatever you might need. Does anyone have anything? Come forward, please, and say your name and address, please.
My name is Janice Newport. I live at 192 Midway Drive, Olive Springs. I'm here because I received a late notice on my taxes, and I'm just now getting the investigative work done because of COVID-19, so I apologize for the late presentation of this. I didn't know that I was deemed late because everything that I do is through online banking. So when a check is sent through the mail, I assume that it's taken care of because I didn't receive anything until February. Couldn't do anything about it until recently because no one was in the bank. So here is the late notice. With that said, November 15th, I sent you all a check for my taxes. And I accidentally paid a little more according to my check. But I'm asking you all to take the late fee off as this has happened last year. And it's the principle of the matter. I can pay the $7, but I am tired of paying $7 every year when I'm doing this online.
What day did you write the check, please?
November 8th is when it was sent. It was estimated to be delivered on November 15th. And I have a confirmation of the check was sent from my account, and I had the funds. So.
Do you have a confirmation when the check was processed?
The check was never cashed.
Never cashed, okay.
So, here's what I'm saying to you is, I intend to pay this tax bill. I think it's wrong for me to have to pay a late fee on something that I've already paid. I don't know where the discrepancy happened. I don't know if the postman accidentally dropped it in the middle of the street. But this is not the only time this has happened. This happened last year, and I had to go chasing it. I paid the late fee because I thought, you know what? Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I didn't understand how soon to send it out. Honest mistake. But this is the second year it's happened. I don't think that's okay.
What's the amount of your late charge? You don't mind telling me?
I'm sorry?
What's the amount of the late charge?
$7.
I'll make a motion to remove, we just.
Let me offer this, and no reflection on you or any other taxpayer. It's my recollection that for property taxes and other revenue due to a government, you have to have a receipt issued by the government, and the date of the receipt is the date of payment. And if you have a receipt back in November 2019, then that means the town received the money and the treasurer credited the account, wrote the receipt, mailed it to you. If you got a late receipt or late bill, and you have the receipt showing that it was paid in November, then there's probably a bookkeeping error
There was-
by the city treasurer.
I did not receive a receipt.
Well, see, that's why I was specific in terms of a receipt. Because in contract law, if you pay a credit card bill, the bill is assumed to be paid the date of the postmark, notwithstanding the fact that the credit card company or others don't get it. Now, that's a matter of, I'll say, Uniform Commercial Code law. That's why the credit card companies put in the credit card contract that it's not considered paid until the credit card company gets it, see? So, in state law, and you know, this is something that's hit me cold, and I'm speaking strictly from memory, and I could be wrong, but I know in my role as judge, people come in frequently, so I paid the court costs. And my standard response is, if you don't have a receipt that's numbered on Town of Olive Springs receipt book paper, it didn't get paid, period.
Well, the other taxes that were due on another property was processed that same day and did just fine.
Well, I'm not debating the point. What I'm, and if you bear with me, I've got a counter-proposing point. But what I'm saying is that you as a taxpayer came down and said you sent the money in. Okay, the textbook question to that is, do you have a receipt dated November 9th of 2019? No, I don't. Then the textbook answer from our auditors and from the comptroller's office is that you didn't pay it, we didn't get it, and you owe the $7. Now, that's, I'll say, the black letter law. Now, that's, quote, justice, close quote. But in courts and in law, you have a justice side, you have an equity side. The equity side of this is that I would agree you shouldn't have to pay the $7 because from my standpoint, I have to pay a number of fees as a lawyer and a businessman through Nashville using credit cards and check deductions and stuff. And my feeling is if I don't get a bill from the state, you know, I don't pay. But then the state takes the position that you owe the money, and if you don't contact us and pay us, we're going to bill you and we'll take your law license or we'll levy on your property or we'll do all these mean things to you, see? And that's why I'm showing the contrast, because from an equitable standpoint, you're 100% right. But from a law standpoint, it doesn't matter if you had 20 pieces of property, 19 got paid, the one that didn't get paid, no receipt. Now, it could have been an error on behalf of the town. Now, the next question I would say on electronic transfer, if the money didn't get credited in the Town of Olive Springs account, where'd the money go?
It's still in my account, even though we sent the check. I don't know what happened to the check after it left my bank, but my stance is, do you know what purchases you made this week, every day this week? Do you know what bills you paid? Don't you hope that you paid it like you're supposed to, and you're able to take it off your check?
Okay, when you ask that question, Joe Van Hook, my answer is every time I get my canceled checks in monthly, I go over my checks and match them to the bills I paid. And if I don't have a copy, now they don't send you a canceled check, they send you a photocopy of it, and I have my CPA at the office, he actually lives in Powell, but I match the check to an invoice. And if I write a check, he'll show that check not cleared. And then he lets me know that this invoice didn't get paid or this check is still outstanding and so on. Now, like I said, see, that's the black letter accounting law. But I agree with you because I get so tired of the problems we face with electronic banking and people make mistakes. Post office, you know, I mailed for years stuff to the clerk and master out in Wartburg without a post office box, and suddenly they started sending it back. And there's one clerk and master, and there's one courthouse in Wartburg, and so on like that, and they just said, well, we put out regulations that had to have a post office box on it. And I've told the postmaster, if I practice law the way that you run the post office, I'd be sued for malpractice and be out of business. Because I resent the fact that the bureaucracy does not use common sense and the state law does not have common sense. And see, you fall into this category of the common sense argument that the $7 should be forgiven. But these gentlemen, I think, should understand that if the taxpayer or the person that pays fines and costs doesn't have a receipt, hadn't been paid. Because that's what our auditors hold us to from a professional standpoint. We can be written up if we give credit for stuff without having receipts for it, or purchase orders, whatever it might be.
I understand that, and I do understand what you're saying about a receipt. But the hindsight, the other side to that is I have my head down working every day. I'm not busy trying to chase a receipt. I'm not an accountant. I will keep better records of this, but this happened last year, and I'm frustrated because this happened last year. I'm asking you all to remove the $7 on principle, and if you don't, I understand, but I'm asking you to do the right thing. If you were in my shoes, what would you do?
I do have to say something. I would feel amiss if I didn't bring this up. And I don't mean to cast doubt or disparagement, but I do have to bring this up because they do need to know before they make their decision. For Roane County, do you also own property in Roane County?
I do.
We have records here that in 2016, 17, 18, that it was late. And then for the property you're talking about currently, it was late in 18 and in 19, this current year.
Okay.
So I have to bring that up.
Okay.
There was a pattern.
I have receipts here showing what I did. You're welcome to look at them.
Oh, I believe you. I believe
Do
that.
you wanna look at
I
them?
believe that you did send it, but I just want to let the council know that there has been a pattern last year, this year, for this current property we're discussing, and the other property in Roane County back in 15, 16, and 17, that it was late as well. So I just had to let y'all know that. I can't.
And did you get your late fees?
That's 100% yes, but this one is the one we're in question, but I just had to let them know that it has happened in the past.
When did you get the late fee?
Let's see.
In the mail, I guess, or?
This is dated, it doesn't say, but it says total due with penalty and interest through 6 of 2020. So this month I have to pay the late fee and, $122 plus $7 or $122.
I mean, you got it a week ago? Or
I don't have a thing on.
I was just curious.
You called
To hear
about
that
that.
there's
As I
something
recall,
wrong.
you called the tax office about it.
I called every day this week between patients. I have called because last year, he's right, I was late because the same thing happened. I sent the checks through the mail for everything that I was supposed to send because I thought I can't go chasing down the taxes. I need to pay them all online. So last year, the same thing happened. I had a property that I had to go back and pay the money for and the late fee. And I do believe it was the property here downtown Oliver Springs.
Where do you drop your letters or mail? Do they pick it up at your office or your house? or-
No, this is directly from the bank.
That was online, all of it.
So,
Was this city and county then?
this is
That's a city?
city.
The county didn't have a problem with their money? That's the city.
Just the city.
What bank is it?
Enrichment. The other tax bill that was due the same day as this property made it just fine. Am I correct?
I don't know. I guess.
For this year, for 2019.
The other property, they both got paid for 18 and 19. And yes, it made it in.
I wonder if there's an electronic problem in the transfer.
I think we can answer to the auditors. It will be right up, they have to look at it, but I think personally we can answer to the auditors. I don't think it's any fault of hers, but it's up to the council. I
Maybe
think.
a recommendation, you come down here and pay it next time.
I did, okay.
Or I'd write a check myself. That's the only thing I ever write checks for anymore is taxes.
Well,
Just for the joke.
Well, make the motion, we take the $7 off, which is just on the regular tax.
Got a motion, got a second, get a second.
I'll second
Got a
that.
motion and a second. Any more discussion? We'll advise her that the $7 will be coming.
Got it voted
on it. You got to vote, yes.
Okay, have you paid it already? Are you?
no, I'm waiting to see what I
She'll just
pay.
subtract the $7 off and Ramona will tag probably the receipt or whatever to this motion and second.
If there's not any more discussion, yes, we'll just
Because
call it over
auditors will
and let
have
her do
to,
it.
it's got a balance.
Yeah, she'll balance it. Call roll, please.
Robert Miller.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Terry Holland.
Yes.
Don Shelby.
Yes.
Passed.
Sorry this happened to you.
Thank you.
I know it's inconvenient to come to here, and I appreciate you bringing it up, but I wish everybody would come here with their problems instead of calling us, though.
Well, I already did.
No, yeah, we know you've been calling.
Have a good day.
Thank you, bye-bye. Anybody else from the audience? Where am I at? You're running like I haven't done something here. What am I missing?
You're up.
Comments from mayor?
Oh, me, I don't remember now what I was gonna say. You guys got me frustrated here. Starting the TV on me early and all that. Well, I said a lot of things at the beginning when we were live, and I didn't realize we were live, and some of you guys were getting water and stuff, or taking breaks in between the water board, and I still would like to commend the citizens of the wellness, wellness checks they've been doing and complying with most of the regulations or governor's rules that he puts out that they recommend, and that's kept our sickness down low, and I appreciate them cooperating with us during the city hall being closed and dropping their bills and boxes, et cetera, and not being aggravated at us and calling us and being patient with us during the spring cleanup. This was different than it ever has been, and hopefully it'll never happen again. And we want to cooperate with every citizen we can and do the best job we can to get it done. This council and I will do everything, and the city manager to help with the city, and that's what we're here for, is to serve citizens. And I appreciate your comfort and that you give me, and knowing that you're trying to take care of your health and your children's health and being patient. That's all, City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to publicly thank Rocky Top for allowing us to borrow their brush truck. We were able to use it to pick up a majority of brush throughout the city, and we did a ride around and made a list. Al Buster did that for us, and also we did a scheduled pickup where people had called in. The cemetery is scheduled to be mowed early next week. In addition, the new tractor has been out mowing throughout the week, and the repairs on the 4-lane is scheduled for potholes, and also Spring Street as well, East Spring Street. And that's all I have there.
Okay, Mr. Miller.
I have nothing this time, sir.
Mr. Bass.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Brown.
Yeah, we're talking about potholes, the bridge going out of all the springs in the Norwood area, right there at the Orville Anderson sign, had a chunk of something come out of that asphalt right there, and there's no way you can not hit it unless you get in another lane, and then, you know, sometimes you can't get in that other lane. It's not that big, but it is, you know, it's right there on the edge, but it's right there by the signs, there's Orville Anderson, and right there where the 4 lanes at in that bridge. And is there anything update on this drain out here at the businesses where smoker friendly and the dog stuff and then the jewelry store?
Yes, that's a private drive. We're going to contact them. We went and looked at it, but it's a private drive. They own that, and they need to be the one to widen it.
Well, now, owning it and so much maintaining it, is the drain our responsibility?
We'll dig the ditch. We'll dig the ditch, but the culvert's theirs as well.
Well, I know it's people coming around, when they come around the drive-through, they don't give people enough room.
Yeah, it needs to be expanded more.
Either that or you know, no exit sign or something, you know, right there when they go on up to the other area, but that's still another thing too. But somebody's gonna get in that ditch. They have already, I know, and hopefully it ain't me. But other than that, that's all I want to say too on the cleanup, you know. I didn't realize they were doing it till I seen them come down the road. And got some brush up out of Dean Valley, and I appreciate them doing that. That's all I know.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's good on the cleanup. Some of the citizens kind of sloppy about throwing stuff in that dumpster. One side was empty, the other side was running over.
We had to pack it down to get it home.
Is there another one there, or is it over, or?
It's over.
It ended on the 28th or 29th.
So it's over.
It's over.
And the tractor, how many hours you think's on it?
Oh, I don't know. I can text you. I'm not sure. A lot. We run it all the time.
That's what I'm saying, somebody's doing good.
It hasn't really stopped running unless something goes wrong.
First 2 days, we had it slow running.
Yeah, it was slow.
Had problems with the first 2 days.
Actuator problems or so.
They haven't hit that stop, it's getting pretty bad.
Yeah, that was fixed, yeah. They gave us new parts for it.
And, do we get any answers from the, what would we call it, warden or whatever, on the status of getting her?
I called down Mr. Waters, and I'm waiting on his return call. He's in charge of the inmate crew.
Tom, I'm assuming.
Just a couple of things. You might have told us, but could you give me an update on that trailer that's supposed to went for taxes there on Butler Mill, or was going to be?
I think that got sold, actually. The right man's here to talk about it. If you want to, you can, I'll
It has been sold, and the new owner, so we will be going out to the new owner to try and get it cleaned up.
Oh, okay.
Is there additional lot there beside it that needs cleaning up also?
There's a couple on Butler Mill that we already have.
Yeah, I had it on, I appreciate it.
I had a call from a lady there, said that her property was nice, and but 2 properties adjoining hers weren't.
There's 2 properties on Butler Mill that are in the city attorney's hands.
Okay. I'm sorry to take up your time there. We'll give you some extra.
I'd like to thank whoever done it. It's probably Jerry Brown covering up all that asphalt down there by the flea market. It looks a whole lot better if anybody noticed. You know, it's all piled up. It's all.
Yeah, here coordinated that.
Did you coordinate that? I tried to, but it looks good. And the cleanup, Terry answered on cleanup, I guess it's going pretty good. That's all I got.
Okay.
Can I ask Mr. Coker a question?
Yes.
On Butler Mill, is one of them got a roof with a blue tarp on it? Is that one of the candidates? If you look on Google Earth, you can see it. That's how long it's been there.
Okay, I'll take a look at that, make sure.
It's on the hill.
Yeah, I'll have to verify that with you. Will you text me the address of that piece of property?
Yeah, okay.
I'll be glad to go check it.
And actually, Terry, if tonight is passed, the updated building codes, part of that is you can't have a tarp on your roof for so long. So if
Well,
that's
it's long
passed,
enough, it's on Google Earth.
That's,
That is long enough.
Google just might run that yesterday.
No, it's,
Chief, are you finished? Chief, you got anything?
you're on the agenda, Chief, for 1 and 2.
Okay, so you got anything other than that?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, he's got.
Finally got the lease today
I
on the,
They're not there yet, unless he wants to jump to it.
no, I thought this was one.
You're on the.
No, you're on new business also.
No, no, I can wait. I thought it was ready for start.
No, we just wanted to, you got any updates? If you don't, I'm sorry. Fire chief, got anything?
Oh, he can stay there.
Okay, you're on the thing too. Old business. Now, we're gonna get to you, just like you stay up here. if you want to. Old business? See, we got these newfangled things, and today is the first time we've used them, so. Any old business, new business. Item 1. Discuss and possibly approve, Mayor Cox to sign a year's lease agreement for $1 for shooting range for the police department.
Finally got the lease today. It's for $1 a year.
You go ahead and do it.
The
Park and Bridge?
No, this is at the end of Big Mountain.
At the end of Big Mountain?
Yeah. At the end of Big Mountain. They, I don't know if any of them remember, but we had a shooting range up Shut Lake where they put the cabins years ago. And when they put the cabins in, they took our shooting range in as part of that. And we were promised one back then, and that's when Chuck was still up there. And they finally agreed to give us a piece of property, and it's all the way to the end of Big Mountain where the trail starts.
Is this fenced in and everything where nobody else can get in?
Yeah, it's all the way at the end.
That's not the one highway up the road leads anyway, gas.
No, this is right all the way at the end of, you know where one of the Brady boys lived at the end of Big Mountain?
Yeah.
It's across the road, where they used to be a house used to sit. And this gives us that, stipulations are that it's $1 a year, we've got to gate it, we've got to sign it, we've got to do all that, so everybody knows it's a live fire range. This is pretty much almost the same kind of lease they did with the outfit that shoots up there on the mountain, uses from the shooting range.
I'll make a motion that we approve the mayor to sign the lease for the agreed $1 a year for the shooting range.
Okay, got a motion, need a second. Got a motion and a second, any discussion?
You just gotta put a flag up, a sign out there on the
Yeah, we've got
top.
to sign it, gate it, we've got to do everything, but all around the property line, we've got to, every 75 feet, we've got to have a sign that says it's a shooting range and all that.
Is this something we can turn into maybe something for citizens to, I think, Oak Ridge Sportsman Club?
If we do that, then we're gonna have to start paying insurance and all kinds of fees on it if we do that.
We're not gonna go any further than where we are.
No, just us.
Okay, any more comments, suggestions? Call the roll, please.
Robert Miller,
Yes.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Terry Holland,
Yes.
Don Shelby.
Yes.
Passed.
Okay, discuss and possibly approve Police Chief Kenneth Morgan to apply for a local support grant for the purchase of radios.
And I mean, Justin's gonna argue over this one. The money that the governor gave all the cities last year, or for this upcoming year, the city's share of it was $105,000, just a little over. And my radios, our radios we bought back in 2000, I think 2010 when we started that process and bought those about 11. So they're at their 10-year limit on the portables. They're real bad. And what I'm wanting to do, if True get this money, is buy new radios. And the total price on those is going to be right at $110,000 to get the new portables and mobiles. And that'll put us on the Valley system so we can talk to Anderson County, Rome County, Oak Ridge. Right now, we can't talk to any of them. We're not on the same radio system.
Asked a question. Are you asking for permission to seek bids with the idea that the bids would come in at some point in the future and we can get the money, then we'd sign the contract or come back before council, assuming they pass it, you'd sign the contract? Or is this for information only, or are you asking for a motion in a second? And if so, we don't have the money yet, we don't have a contract yet.
Now, I've already got the bids, but
okay.
until this is decided, then just give handing the bids out.
Even though this is a grant, he's got to apply for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a grant through the state, it's free money, no payback.
Well, do you want and I'm just thinking out loud, because you can have the motion to accept the low bid for X dollars, and I need that information for my minutes, and to be paid for out of this $105,000 grant if and when we get it, then it would be contingent on if we don't get the grant, chief can't do it. But when we get the grant and the money comes in, then chief can do it, or maybe we've got to buy it and then submit to be reimbursed from the grant, whatever the procedure is. I just want to make sure I know what.
The money's there, we got to submit the grant no later than July the 1st, 21.
21, yeah.
Have we got
So-
the money already?
And it can't be paid after July 1.
I think what the chief's asking for now is just permission to fill it out and see if he can get it, because it's, as in
Is
line.
that correct?
Yeah, it's a guaranteed money. If you fill it out and put in for it, the city just has to pass a resolution okaying it.
I'll make a motion that we let him apply for the grant.
And motion is second.
I'll second.
Motion and second, any discussion, more discussion?
What's the cost if you get the grant?
It's the radios and everything right at $110,000. I'm gonna be able to get Anderson County to put the bill for one of the mobile radios and everything to put at the station for the console. They're gonna put that money, but we're still gonna be out somewhere between $505,000 and $107,000. And I've got the extra money to pay for whatever's.
How long are the bids good for?
Huh?
How long are the bids good for?
They're good for 90 days right now.
Okay.
Well, I mean, how much is the grant paying?
$105,600 and
So it's a
something.
total of 200.
No, it's $105,000.
What's it costing?
Doesn't cost the city anything.
Oh, okay.
It's free money.
Okay.
Yeah,
I sort of thought you said that.
It's not a matching grant, it's a grant, but you have to apply for it as if you're just going to pay for it.
Oh, okay.
These radios you got now, you can't even contact these.
So we can't talk to Anderson County, Rome County, Oak Ridge, we can't talk to anybody around us right now.
I got that somewhere.
And every
But you're
church back
keeping
before
the
we can
same,
talk to them.
you're keeping the same frequency.
No, we're moving up to 700 megahertz up to the Valley system.
Oh.
That's where everybody else has gone and just left us behind.
In our equipment in the dispatch can handle that already?
Yeah, it can handle it already, it's just, and like I say, 911 about said, once I get all this done, then I can go to them and ask them for their them to kick in and pay that part of it.
This is
I got a question. I understand we got this grant, but I also understand we was going to give you half of it to the fire department, half of it.
Yeah, like, that's the reason I was asking for all of it for radios, because half of it wouldn't do me any good for
Well,
radio.
I'm just saying, you know, we need a fire truck. And we
Half of it won't buy fire truck.
well, with his other money that he's got appropriated through a grant, it's my understanding that he can purchase the fire truck. But he needs the half of this money, which, you know, I mean, it's not that I don't want you to have your radio, but I also know what's going to happen if we don't get this fire truck.
No, it's the same thing as what's going to happen when we need to talk to somebody who can.
Is there some way we could maybe do something to you know?
Justin, join into the situation, please.
Yeah.
We're not fighting amongst each other.
No.
Justin's got some, we can probably get some more money, we hope.
So, as far as the fire truck grant goes, we was going to get the money through the state this year before, obviously, our nice little COVID happened. When that happened, we was going to match 150,000 that was going to come from the state, and then the 155 that the council already approved me to go ahead and start seeking, but I've not signed any paperwork or anything. And in conversation with Thomas, our current budget situation and everything, most likely we was going to hold off until after July 1 anyway. That way we kick that down the road to the next budget year. That way that 20,000 can be taken out of my budget and used for some of the overages in other areas. That's something that I understand that has to happen. At the same time, I also know his need because I'm in the same need. Our radios are the same system, or our radios are the same years, everything. I'm having the same issues that he is. The only difference is I've applied for $190,000 to replace mine through an AFG grant, which when we move up the Tennessee Valley, I'm in the same boat with him. I can't talk to nobody around us. So, you know, when everybody else moved up, Rome County, Oak Ridge has moved up. That's two of my major mutual aid partners. The only other one is Marlowe. Marlowe and Anderson County is planning on moving up themselves. So as all of us start moving the Tennessee Valley system, it's a major cost. His is less just because, the fact I've got 20 guys on the roster. He's got 12. So that extra cost is where that comes in. I also have to keep tri-band on mine because I also deal with Morgan County and a couple of the other areas that we go to. So I know what 155, so the 155,000 that we talked about as far as a loan, I know what it'll buy as far as a used apparatus. I also know if we split it, I know what 205,000 would buy as a used apparatus. It ain't going to be a new apparatus at 205,000. You know, that's one of the things, that's why I was going for the 150 through the governor's appropriation. I attempted the AFG process, we've been kicked out of the AFG process as far as a truck several times. So when we got kicked out that last time, we thought we had a winner with the other. We withheld on applying this time around on the AFG just because we already had the other things appropriated. So that's kind of the situation for the fire truck. I'm still down in apparatus. We're still operating at 50%. You know, it's there. I also know what his need is as well. So that's the problem. You've got two public safety agencies that both have needs that both cost a lot of money. And, you know, there's no easy answer. That's why you guys get paid big bucks.
Well, I look at it this way, we're not gonna make either one of you 100% equal. With this grant money we're getting from national, if we split it, you're both still gonna be have an operation of what you want.
Right.
So I think there might be a possibility of getting some additional money for the fire truck. Am I wrong or am I right?
No, as far as I know, no. As far as I know, no. The only other grant that is possibly open, the council uses for water line and sewage. And that's the one that so like right now you got Wartburg City that just bought, or actually Wartburg area, volunteer fire department just bought a fire truck. Several other areas just bought a fire truck. they got that on the CBG grant. Every department that put in for a CBG grant got it, 100%. So that's just.
We could put in for them because we got two.
We got sewer and water, and at the same time, I attend council meetings, I know what other areas are needed. Water is just as much need as it is for a fire truck for me. So, it's a balancing act. Knowing his need, and I spoke with Thomas and stuff, and I spoke with Kenny, I told him I'd, chase him down in a dark alley later. But knowing his need and knowing what the cost of the radios is, my personal suggestion, because I know what fire truck I can get with that amount of money, that's going to last us 10 to 20 years down the road, that's going to be the lifespan of his radios as well. My personal opinion is still go the route that we was planning on going and the 155 and then him get the radios, because I know that that's a need that he needs as much as I do. The only difference is I'm applying for an AFG grant that he don't have access to, and I can't put him in on it.
So we're not gonna have a feud between you two?
No, there's gonna be a few later, but that's just normal.
Next 5 years down the road, you got priority, right?
Next year, well, that's in next month.
Does that answer your question?
I'm just, I understand, but how much more are we gonna have to appropriate for you on your end of it?
On my end of it, mine's covered by the budget. So that $20,000 that was sitting there, that's in my budget, and all of you just kind of saw what the budget was, and then I put it back in there for next year. That $20,000 covers that loan.
I'm talking about the fire truck part. We're not anywhere close to getting one, is what you're saying, right?
If you guys approve me to apply for the loan and go purchase a fire truck, I can do it tomorrow.
He just can't get the fire truck that he would rather have. He can get a fire truck.
I can get a fire truck. I mean, I see them, and this is the thing on the used fire apparatus. As soon as they hit the market, now there's a few that kind of linger out, and I know Robert watches the fire truck market just as much as I do. He sees them, this used apparatus. As soon as they hit the market, the ones that you want, they're gone the next day. If not, they're gone before, because somebody's called ahead and said, I need X, Y, and Z. The ones that are still lingering on the market, they linger on the market more than 3 months. It's probably not the truck you want. So that's just one of them things that, you've got to be on top of it. That, there's one that I saw in Laverne, Tennessee, and I spoke with Thomas on it. It met every mark that we needed. And I called, and he goes, I sold it an hour ago. So
do we need to give you approval to process the grant, or what do we need to do?
If you want the approved process loan, so here's the fact, I've dealt with loans several times, and Thomas, please correct me if I'm wrong. I can kick the payment to January 1 for the first payment, which if we do it right now, I'm not affecting this year's budget. It would actually be next year's budget that would be affected. So that $20,000 will be then. That's where, we can kick that payment to where if you do January 1, then you got your tax revenue coming in as well. And that's what we did on the last loan that we've got. We done it on January 1 payment. That way we had tax revenue, we had sales tax revenue, and it got both of them. And that way we didn't break the bank when we hit $20,000 payment right
I'm just saying, before the bottom line is that if we don't get one, then the insurance companies is gonna.
If your insurance company still uses ISO, absolutely.
They're gonna come in, what, the end of this year?
January, I'm looking at January, March, somewhere in there. Well, it'd be 2021.
2021. So right. I'd like to make a motion, we give him to go get the loan, or.
We need to vote on this, right?
You need to get it searched.
Okay.
We got a motion second on you, and we got discussion. We just wanted him up here. I wanted him up here to make sure we had the right feelings.
I'm fine. I'm fine with giving Chief Morgan that money, and if we can.
Let's vote then.
Okay.
Robert, yes, sir. Wait a minute. Robert's got a question.
Joe. When we did the last ones, Chief, we got them in 12, and we broke it down in 5 6-year payments of $13,788 a year, which came out to $69,800 something. Be financed them.
But you really can say radios.
No, that wasn't.
These radios are updated.
We bought the bottom of the line then.
Bottom line, these are top of the line radio.
And they're going to a different frequency. But can we not apply for a loan?
We can apply for a loan on this fire truck too.
That's the reason I was trying to use this one to keep having to do another line.
I'm trying to we're trying to not have as many loans on the books. I know we get a good interest rate normally, but the least amount of loans we keep on the books, the better off we are, I think. But, city manager, you got any comments?
No comments.
Which would be your preference?
I mean, if they're in agreement and if the council's in agreement, I mean, it's a grant that's really
For this
narrow,
purpose.
it's really narrow of what you can do with this grant anyway. And public safety is one of the things you can do with
I
it.
know no more important public safety than the fire department and the police department, so.
I mean, what's the odds of getting a grant?
It's guaranteed grant.
So we're not,
They just got designated, that's all they
No
got.
one else is nothing.
If you
what
guys
I'm
don't
saying,
mind.
you're not having to get a loan because it's kind of free in a way.
Yeah, it's free money.
I can add in on the difference in the radios, Robert, if you don't mind. The difference is now with the new frequencies and the new FCC regulations for public safety, they are supposed to be P25 compliant. So when they start going into P25 compliant, I know Kingston has them on the older band and stuff. When they start going P25 compliant, price goes up. So for instance, the reason for the P25 compliant, like when we went to Gatlinburg, as far as the fire department, and I'll use that as an example because that's been, well, there's been a couple here lately. Cook will have the same issue. The departments that come in that don't have a P25 compliant radio, they ain't talking to anybody unless they have that one frequency in their bank of radios. We didn't have it when we went to Gatlinburg as far as our radio system. The P25 compliant radios are public safety rated. They're made to take a beating for public safety. The commercial brand like the HD 1250s that we have, that all of us are carrying right now, they don't hold up as much. We've been able to take care of them and stuff, but I use the P25 compliant radios at work. We ran over them with fire trucks and they keep going. So they are a much sturdier radio system than what we currently have with less issues. They're moving up the 700 band. We've got towers all the way around us now on that 700-800 split band frequency. Not only is the mutual aid an issue for us, but we have better radio coverage than, like, specifically my radio system, because that 1V that comes over our houses and stuff, that 1V you ain't getting out. Whereas if we say, even if we was on the radio system, I would get out from my house talking to Nashville if I needed to, just because of the radio coverage.
So is it a trunk line system?
It's a trunking system.
So the president, what we try to do now, the chief will get $105,000 or $6,000 and so many dollars with no payback. He'll get a fire truck out of his budget. If we get any help anywhere else, that's good.
More than likely,
we're not
he'll
going
probably
to
get
get
an
anywhere.
AG grant for his radios. There's just no law enforcement grants
And
out
I'd
there.
say if we have a real problem that you all could communicate, you could probably borrow one of your radios and let him use it to communicate with each other.
He's got one of those.
Okay. Okay. Call the roll? No, are you satisfied, Mr. Miller? Okay, call the roll.
Robert Miller,
Yes.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Sarah Holland.
Yes.
Mike Schultz.
Yes.
Okay, item,
Wait, there's something else that Kenneth was talking about?
no, I don't think so. Kenneth, you got your question answered, didn't you?
Yep, I just wanted to make sure we,
To make sure that we weren't taking something away from the fire department to keep them from operating.
yeah, that's fine.
I was just talking about, I think he was talking about the loan.
Yeah.
Whether apply now or,
Well,
I'm asking.
I mean, if that's the,
Oh, okay,
but if
Is that not- it's not on the
we can do it
agenda.
now, I just didn't do it, you know?
I can bring it up next council meeting if you guys.
well, we can add it, I guess, if we want to do it tonight, we can, I guess. Can't we, Joe? Add it to the budget? or
It's something we're gonna have to do, whether we want to or not, right?
Okay, our radio, our TV guy's getting impatient over there, we got.
No. Back truck.
Okay, do we want to do anything else on that, or are we satisfied with that? Okay, discuss and possibly approve the animal control officer Mark Easy to attend building and codes classes not to exceed $1,000.
Now, when we change up to this, I found him a class that he can take online, and it's the same one that Clinton City put their codes guy through, and they're the ones that recommended it. And it's $495 for him to take a class. There's one this month, and there's another one in August. And that will help us on, that gets him certified on.
So you don't go to North Carolina?
No, it's all online.
Okay.
Oh, you'll have to go to
No, we found one where you didn't have to go, he can do it online. And and the only reason I'm bringing it up now, one is this month. Or wait, but the one in August, we can bring up, next month.
Okay. What does that do? Just gets him more familiar with the codes?
Gets him familiar with all the codes and all that stuff. And
They don't license him or nothing like that?
The second one will. The second one will.
The second one will?
Yeah.
So we can fire Glenn then, right?
Yeah. Now, what this does, this is just gonna be a help to them, because this gets him where he can go out and write, and start condemnation letters and do all that stuff, and get everything over into court, and try to speed things up a little bit, and it will help them.
Is this $400 gonna cover both of them, or just one of them?
No, that's just one of them. That's what I say, I hated to bring it up, but we just found out about this the other day.
So you want to send, where's he gotta go to the other one at, North Carolina?
No, he does them both here, online.
Both, okay.
Most of those classes you find them, you've got to go somewhere.
So $1,000 will cover 2 classes?
Do what?
$1,000 going to cover 2
Yeah,
classes?
$1,000 covered both, but the other one's out of the next budget, so I thought we'd wait till July and do that one when it comes around, because that's not.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion?
I'll second.
Got a motion, got a second. You got any more comments? Yes, you have any? Okay, Mr. Miller, you got comments? Anybody? Looked like you was getting ready to draw down on that.
This is under the same subject. Did our BZA,
What is Orange Fields, did what?
our BZA,
Planning
Commission, did they approve the new codes?
They said we didn't have to.
Don't have to, right?
The state guy did.
State guy, we contacted Glenn, not Glenn, but,
Well, Planning Commission only controls your subdivision regulations and zoning ordinances. This is building codes.
And this is the new Southern.
International Code Council.
And this is the building code plus also the property maintenance code, which is what we need to help us.
Yep.
we've got it similar, it's in our books similar, but we've got them spread out in 3 different books, and this puts everything in one, correct? Kind of.
When it comes to residential, it does.
Yeah.
The commercial industrial,
It's different.
It's a huge volume of books.
So I thought we had to, Robert, and I was wrong, and they said we didn't have to, so I brought it up that time.
Yeah, we talked about that, so it's.
Okay.
Anybody else have any discussion? I can tell Robert's gonna draw down on what I look over there, so. Okay, call roll, Joe. We do have a motion second.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Terry Hall.
Yes.
Sean Shell.
Yes.
Okay.
Right quick.
Discuss and possibly approve the ordinance to amend the International Building Code, IBC, and related codes for the town of Oliver Springs.
I'll make it approved.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any more discussion?
I got a question. Glenn, does this hamper new growth, or is it gonna help get rid of the tarp roof people, I guess?
Yeah.
Most of the time it backfires, we can't still make them clean up their mess, and then we'll build something, or...
Well, you got 2 ordinances in front of you, okay? The first one is the International Building Codes. And what the International Building Codes covers is your commercial industrial properties, okay? Like I said, it's a full volume. You got the International Fire Code, the existing building code, property maintenance code, and everything that comes along with that. And yes, this will give the city of Oliver Springs a little more authority on cleaning up some of the issues that we have. And no, it does not. When it comes to hampering development, it does not do that.
That or this other one?
Well, what you also have is you have a state, a PCA section that says that if you have building codes in your jurisdiction, you have to be within 7 years of the most current code available. Right now, we're on the 12th code, which we're out of compliance. And what we were waiting around to make sure is what the state was going to do. And the state likes to drag their feet. They were still on the old 98 code for a long time. And the amendments that we proposed in the resolutions are exactly what the state adopted.
So is this a 16 copy they're coming out of?
No, it's 2018. Yeah. Codes go in 3 years. So, like, we had the 12 code, a new code come out in 15, a new code come out 18. This will set us for the next 6 years.
Okay, item 4 is industrial, and item 5 is city, or, residential.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So when we pass these, is that gonna give us any more teeth on this mess out here on the 401? Where
the trailers
parking
are.
trailers by the day?
That stays within your zoning ordinances. We could possibly use that property maintenance code for that.
I'd offer this observation. You got all the teeth you need, you just gotta put the money behind it.
We do, and this updates everything.
Because see, you gotta file your lawsuit, you gotta have the building inspector go out and write them the citations. If they don't come into compliance, then you gotta hire your city attorney to file a lawsuit, probably in Anderson County Chancery Court.
That will be in Anderson County Chancery Court, yes,
See,
sir.
and at that point, you're looking at several $1,000s in your attorney time, which you may or may not get back out of your landowner. So if you want teeth, all you need to do is create a line item for codes enforcement of $25,000, I'll say, and put Glenn and the city attorney to work.
We just did in the county budget the same thing. The way the chancellors are working now is that they will give the orders to the cities, to the counties to clean the properties up. And you go in and you clean it up and you place a lien on that piece of property for the city to get paid back for its money.
So you can take those trailers to the scrap?
Yes, sir. You sure can.
Well, see, let's look at that. Somebody's got to pay the hauler to haul those trailers. And if those trailers are not structurally sound, they're going to disintegrate. And then you got a mess on the highway to clean up. And see, whoever's hauling it has to pay that cleanup mess, and that cost is passed on to the city, and we pass it on to the landowner. But see, if we get a lien on the trailer's not worth anything. So we don't get any money. If you told the trailer to a junkyard or a demolition place, you may pay them for the privilege of tearing that thing down. So if you're looking for a way to get it cleaned up where it doesn't cost the city anything, I've got a whole bunch of land in Florida that I'll be glad to show you that half the time you got 3 or 4 feet of water that you can take a bath in on it. Because, and he's right, Greg LaFuse is county attorney, and he's got 4 or 5, maybe as many as 10 cases once a month down there, once every couple of months dealing with cleanup. So
Yeah, but he's not dealing with 15 trailers sitting out here on the side of the road people's looking at every day.
I guarantee you, you put the money in a cleanup line item in the budget, and the city attorney will take care of it.
But there you go again, what you do with them once you...
Well, you have to understand, there's solutions to it, you just have to budget to pay, to front the cost, and then maybe or maybe not, you get back on the
Let me
telephone.
make a point. I don't think we have a motion on the floor yet, do we?
No.
Okay. All we're doing is trying to pass these 2 ordinances. We've got ordinance in effect now. Okay, just a minute. We've got ordinance in effect now. We'll take care of the problem. This updates everything, okay? It's some of the stuff we already have that's in these. So we update these, then we have to worry about which way we're going to solve the problem. These need to be updated. But updating means we're not going to clean that property off. It gives us some guidance on how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the ordinance.
We already got a motion second. And discussion.
I did.
Yeah, number 4, yeah, we've got.
That was number 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a vote.
Discussion over. We've got a motion by, who made the first motion?
John made the motion.
Second by Mr.
Jeff seconded it.
Who did the second?
Jeff.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, and we've discussed it. Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Robert Miller.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Terry Hall.
Yes.
Don Shelley.
Yes.
Item 5 is nearly the same thing, except it's covering residential. Discuss and possibly approve an ordinance to amend the International Residential Codes, IRC, for the town of Auburn Springs.
I'll make the motion.
We got a motion by Mr. Bass. Need a second? Need a second?
I'll second.
We got a second? Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Robert Miller.
Yes.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Terry Hall.
Yes.
Don Shelley.
Yes.
Passed.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, you can step back this next one if you want to, or you want to stay?
Yep.
Discuss and possibly approve a bid for demolition of the house at 428 Kingston Avenue. 2 bids required.
Yes,
City manager?
Thank you, Mayor. We bidded this project out, and in your packet, you'll see the bid form that was for 428 Kingston Avenue to have that house torn down. The bids came in with 2 bids. There were several plan holders, but 2 came in. We read them aloud, and Terry Duncan, $5,825 was the low bid. The other bid was first place finish, and it was $5,890. So I recommend the low bid of $5,825 with Terry Duncan and his company to tear the house down at 428 Kingston Avenue.
Let's haul it off, clean it up and everything, right?
Yes, sir.
Complete.
Sort it back and start it.
Yep.
Sort it back.
Then we'll have another thing that we've got to pursue through the city attorney.
That's 5,000, we're never gonna get it back.
That's the next thing we have to do. We're going to put a lien on the property to get our 5,000.
It's exactly what Joe was talking about. Then we got to lien the property and.
This thing's been going on for 17 years, I think. It's been condemned since 2015.
Yeah.
And it's went to court, and we've got the authority. Joe, out of kindness of his heart, he and I weren't real comfortable with the judge ruled it, we could tear it down, and he and I wasn't real comfortable without notifying the finance company because we had indicated it might be another owner or 2. And so he wrote a letter, and we sent that out certified mail, and we didn't get a reply from one. We got a reply that they received the letter, the finance company received the letter. Then we went again and asked the ownership, requested ownership because of a quitclaim deed. And Joe went out with 2 more letters to the city, and he's doing some free lawyer work there for us. And the letters come back to guys that I do not own that problem, that quitclaim deed. It's not my property, it's next door neighbor's property. I own the one next to it. So we're clear, we feel comfortable, we're not going to be sued over it. So,
I'll make a motion to accept the lowest bid.
okay, got a motion and a second.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Do we have any kind of timeline, or does this guy need?
We'll give him 30 days is what we're going to go.
Yeah, we'll get him just get on it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll talk to him.
we'll just get on it.
No, I mean, he's got 30 days.
Huh?
30 days to start to finish.
Yeah, well,
Right.
I think we told him in the bid how many days he had, did we?
Yes.
I think he
It's in
said
the bid.
30 days.
Demolition must be completed within 15 days upon
50
award of the
days.
contract.
Must have had a little over.
Is this the in-house?
Yes, it is.
Is the one on the end?
Yes, it is.
Just one 2-story, 3-story house? I can't remember what it was.
It's one story.
One story, we've got 2 or 3 bedrooms.
It's probably about 2
The old
bedrooms.
church thing.
Used to be a little meeting place, right? The church thing, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we got motion second. Did you call a roll on this one? Yeah.
Robert Miller.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Terry Hall. Don Shelley.
Yes.
Passed.
Okay, our last item 7, discuss and possibly set a date for budget workshop during the week of June the 8th through June the 12th. We really need to get this done in that week.
Any day is good with us, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, whatever's good with everybody else.
Any day, fine with me.
You
I'd
want
like
us
to
to
do
set a date?
it in the beginning of the week if we could, just
So you're talking about next week?
Yes, sir.
Beginning of the week would be great. If we can do it at the beginning of the week, Monday evening or Tuesday evening, or let's see,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, any of those days are good.
Yeah.
Because we're around.
How many days we talking about now? 3, 4?
one day, I hope.
Pick one.
Oh, why don't we do it on Friday the 12th? No, Friday's not a good day.
How about this Tuesday?
Today I'm off work. I don't have to do
What'd you
work.
say?
Tuesday, so I won't spend my day off here, no offense.
Well,
But it'll be fun though, budget.
he can't be here on Tuesday.
Oh, okay, Friday's fine if it's.
Unless we set a
Maybe
later
May.
later time, what time can you be here by? Or can you be here?
By 7?
Well, 7 wouldn't be too bad, I guess, would it?
Yeah, yes, we're thinking about 6, after 6 anyway, so.
Have to be at 7 or 8.
Can you make it 7?
Yeah.
7 o'clock Tuesday? Can everybody make it 7 o'clock Tuesday?
Be the night.
Yes, I think that's the 9th.
It is. One night, though.
Yes.
I think you can, I think you can. He's got it lined up pretty nice, I think you'll like it.
Yeah, but he ain't seen my
Oh, I
list.
got it, I'm looking at it.
There's no extra money.
We've seen your previous list, we know what your list will look like. We've got a good idea what your list looks like. Okay, we need a motion, I guess, here.
So moved.
Move for the 7 o'clock on Tuesday, and then second.
I'll second.
Now, motion and a second. Motion by Miller, second by Bass. Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes, sir.
Terry Holland,
Yes.
Don Shelton.
Yes.
Passed.
Friday at 7 o'clock, right?
No, Tuesday at 7 o'clock.
You told me Friday.
The 9th, right?
I did announce Tuesday, I think. Anyway, play the film, but no, I think it's. If there's no more business coming before the board, we'll need to adjourn. You got a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, stand.
Hey, Chief.
We are adjourned.
And I got the.
In love, they say. Well, I guess I was wrong. I just don't belong. Then I've been there before. Everything's alright